And we are live.
We're live. Happy
We're
Monday.
live. Happy Monday. Oh, you know what I
Happy
realized? Okay, so I realized I'm
Monday.
gonna have to really quickly turn on my power switch because I have my computer plugged in, but the power switch that turns on the energy isn't on. So let me go ahead and switch that on real
Okay.
quick. But you can go ahead and start the
All
conversation.
right. Well,
Dial us both up.
I was just going to tell you, we're picking up where we left off last week, where we mentioned sea moss. And I think that it's a perfect time to talk about sea moss because I don't know about you, but I want to say in the summertime last year, everybody was talking about sea moss. Everybody was talking about it. So I was like,
Yes.
you know what?
Yes.
I kind of want to try it, but I was like, oh, I hope it doesn't taste like seaweed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because
like it's not a nasty taste. Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought, right? So and I know when I was in pharmacy school, one of the kids that sat next to me, he ate seaweed, dried seaweed every single day, Kirkland's brand, and it grossed me out. But so I'm like, that's all I
like
could
those
think
little
of.
seaweed strips. They're not bad. Or seaweed salad even. I don't mind. I don't mind the taste of seaweed at all. If it's flavored right. As long as it's not slimy, sometimes you'll get it where it's like it's slimy, but
well, his was dried. So it was like listening to him crunch on chips. It's like
mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was like, I don't know if I want to do the sea moss because in my head, all I could think of was the seaweed that he would eat every day in class, right? In lecture. So I'm like, let me just try it, right? Everybody was like, just do it. It's good. So I got the gels. I actually got two. I actually got capsules and gels just in case I didn't like the gel form. But the gel, we got two flavors. We got mango and passion fruit. And passion fruit was delicious. I would take 2 spoonfuls and just eat them just like that. I didn't put them in anything. I just ate them straight like that. To me, they were really good. Yeah, to me it was. But you're only supposed to have 2 tablespoons, no more than that. And I'll get into that later on. But then I also got the capsules. And so I think it was 90 capsules for a 3-month supply, or like one a day you're supposed to take. For a week, I did it.
Okay.
And then after that, I just did it.
You fell off a little bit?
I did. I definitely did.
Oh,
it was just kind of like, I still have them downstairs. I had to check the expiration and I'm good till next year. But I don't know. I know the benefits of it. I just, they say doctors make the worst patients. I think the same is true for pharmacists, right? When I was in pharmacy school, we had a lesson where we were mock patients with diabetes. And so they gave us Cheerios, right? And depending on what the medication was, some of them you take 2 times a day, some of them you take 1 time a day. Well, I was a patient who was supposed to take my medication twice a day. So I got 60 tablets. And at the end of the 30, at the end of the 30 days, I had 56 tablets remaining.
It's discipline. It's discipline. And ladies and gentlemen, let this be a testament to the fact that nobody is immune from this, right? Like it is habit and getting into that discipline, because a lot of us just start things and then we just don't finish. All right. So I know that today you're going to get into how sea moss affects our thyroid function. And I think for people who are, thinking about like hormone balancing or, even like how to regulate weight management and all these different things, like they're going to be specifically, tuned in today a little bit closer to the computer screen of their phone or wherever, because they want to know, how do I give my hormones and my thyroid, right, to work in my favor? So if we can get into that, I'm sure I want to know.
Absolutely.
And I know the people want to know.
So I will just say, right, sea moss is an algae, comes from the sea. You have different kinds depending on the species of sea moss, right? So you have the Irish sea moss, which is the Chondrus crispus. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correct, right? That's the Irish sea moss.
Is it just marketing?
Listen, they have, that's the one that's found in the Atlantic Ocean, right? But then
that's
you
the
also
one that everybody wants, right?
Yes, it is. But they also have like the Graciela, which is in the Pacific Ocean. That's the sea moss that's found in the Pacific Ocean. And then they also have, which a lot of people now, I don't know if you've seen like the purple sea moss, right? Everybody wants the purple. No. Oh,
I don't know
I'm
nothing
not
about
a
no purple sea moss. I'm
well.
not a sea moss aficionado. You know what I mean? Like, like I've tried it a couple of times. You know, I respect Dr. Sevi's work, but I don't really know too much about it. That's what I'm saying. For me too, I'm leaning in close. Like, all right, girl, what's going on with the sea moss?
It's just about where it's naturally grown, where it's naturally occurring. So you have some of the Atlantic Ocean, some of the Pacific Ocean. Like that's just basically the difference. But it's more than just that, because you have to remember what's going on in that ocean, what species are in that ocean, what is it exposed to in that ocean, right? And so that's why you'll get variable nutrients depending on which type of sea moss that you're getting, right? And so they're known to have what they call anti-inflammatory properties, which is good if you have arthritis, if you have eczema, right? So that's one use of sea moss, right? And it comes in gels. You can get the powders, you can get the capsules, you can get the gummies, you can get the raw sea moss and do what you want to do with it, right? So it comes in a whole bunch of different
tea
forms.
or something.
Yes, right. You can grind it up. You have the powder, right? But the main thing I want to talk about, which has been proven, which has been studied very well extensively, is the iodine content in sea moss, right? So sea moss has a whole bunch of vitamins, minerals, nutrients, but the iodine content. And so iodine, as you may or may not know, is important for the synthesis of your thyroid, right? Your thyroid, your T3, your T4, right? And so
that's why my table salt I always am like with iodine.
Yes.
Is it iodine?
Because yes, our bodies just don't naturally produce iodine. So we have to get it from our diet. So you get it from the iodized salts, you get it from seafood, some vegetables you can get it from, and sea moss, right? And so if there's like a fancy, not even a fancy, but like a perfect balance that has to occur within your body with your thyroid hormone, your hypothalamus, and your pituitary gland, right? It's a negative feedback loop. And so if anything is out of whack, you'll either have an hyperactive thyroid gland or an underactive thyroid gland. So you have
my mom had a hyperactive thyroid, Graves' disease.
I just getting ready to say, yep. So with hyperactive, that's hyperthyroidism. So you're prone to heat intolerance, usually weight loss. GI effects are more like diarrhea. Some people get with that, and increased heart rate. And so Graves' disease is a known hyperthyroidism condition. But on the other side of that, if you have hypothyroidism, meaning it's underactive, you'll have cold intolerance. You usually have a slower heart rate. You're prone to constipation for GI upset because your thyroid hormone controls so much within our body, right? Mainly people think of, your metabolic rate, your metabolism, or how your body uses energy. That's mainly what people think of. But there's so many other functions that it controls. And so if you're a person
it's all
that
affected, and these would be like people who have like Hashimoto's and
yes. And so like if you have low or hypothyroidism, a lot of times people supplement with synthetic hormone, T3 or T4. So they'll get like Synthroid or levothyroxine is like a generic for the synthetic hormone. So that's how they supplement with it. But sea moss, yes, sea moss is naturally high in iodine. And iodine, remember, is needed to produce the T3 and the T4 in your body. So if some people don't want to go with the synthetic hormone, they would much rather do it through the foods that they're consuming.
Say less. All right, so now
can I give you a butt? Can I give you a butt?
All right,
can I give you a butt?
But I'm already one, girl. Already one over. All right, go ahead.
I have to give you a butt.
Give me
person.
Go ahead.
This is me putting on the disclaimer. If you are a person that is already taking synthetic thyroid hormones like the thyroxine or the Synthroid, if you're taking medication already to help counter your hypothyroidism, you have to be careful with taking sea moss, right? Because it's a negative feedback loop. So you're already taking the hormone to supplement to get your thyroid hormone producing what it's supposed to. Now you're going to put more iodine in the system. And so now it's going to say, wait a minute, I have too much. And it's a negative feedback loop. So now it's going to stop or slow the production even more, because now I have this side coming in with the hormones, and then I have the iodine coming in, and your body's like, I have too much. I need to slow things down.
This is too much for me, right? It's such a, you know what? Our bodies are so intelligent. They're like, nah, you're doing too much. Like, calm it down, you know?
This is way too much for me. You need to slow it down, slow your roll. So yes, if you are already taking a synthetic hormone or medication for your hypothyroidism, before you take CMOS, always consult your provider. Always. Because they're going to do blood work, they're going to check your levels, and they're going to see, okay, either this is working or we're going to stop this so that you can, you know, because you as the patient are in charge of your own health, right? We take advice from medical professionals because this is what they study, this is what they know. But at the end of the day, we have to advocate for ourselves. And I'm not saying one avenue is better than the other. It's best to make informed decisions. And the only way to make informed decisions is to get yourself informed. So inform yourself on the options, you know what I mean? And then you make what decision is best for you and your situation. That's what I wanted to say about that. But
no, that makes sense. Good. And thank you for saying that, because it's important. I think people always or oftentimes get in the mindset of like, I got to do more, and then don't think about the fact that they can have a negative consequence. More is not always better. Right.
It's true. And you don't want to put yourself in a worse situation trying to improve your health, right? You're thinking, okay, what's the natural way? I'm just going to add this a little bit to it. I'm going to take a little bit of the gel, or I'm going to take a capsule in addition to my other capsules. Before you do any of that, always consult your provider, because they know, you know, they know people, you know, they know people like, see,
you pray they know. I don't know, girl. I don't have faith in every provider. You know what I mean? Like, I know everybody that goes to school don't know what they're talking about. You understand what I'm saying?
But I get that. Right. Because you know what they say in med school and any graduate school, you know, what do you call the doctor that graduated with, like, you know, all C's or all C's and plus 1 D? A doctor. They're still a doctor. Right. The one that had straight A's, the one that had straight C's, they graduated.
Right, exactly. So which one do you have? Like, can I look at your transcripts, doctor?
Seriously. But I will say, before you take any supplements, because it is a supplement, right? If you're taking any supplement, you always want to consult your provider. And also, with those supplements, they are not regulated specifically by the FDA. And so remember, we talked before about the claims that they say on the front, the verbiage you need to look for on the back, whether the proprietary blend, anything like that. And
talked about that last week.
Yes, we did. And also look to see the source of the nutrients, right? Are there any other fillers in there? Are there any other things that could possibly interact with anything else that you're taking, whether it's medicinal or herbal or whatever?
Or a whole bunch of extra added sugars. Okay.
You know what? I knew there was a reason why I didn't bring up the dried fruit. Remember, we were talking about fruit, and I was like, in my head, I'm like, dried fruit has so much sugar. Like, there's so much sugar, but it does.
All that extra sugar.
Unnecessary, but I mean,
you know, it's like that's what makes people be able to take it, I guess. Like, you know, a lot of times they're like, I'm not talking about the dry fruits anymore. I'm saying in general, right? Like, oh, I want something that tastes good. So they put these things like, oh, it has to be palatable. But at the same time, it's like, okay, you're giving me something that is helpful for me, but then also at the same time, giving me something that's harmful for me. So it doesn't make sense. Like, how do I have in one same thing, something that's good and something that's bad? That, you know what I mean? Like,
and it's like, can it be both?
Can
something be
or is this a good for you world? Is it good or bad? Like, what is it? I don't know. It's, you know, it's complicated, but these are, again, the decisions that you have to make for yourself, right?
Absolutely.
The decisions that you have to make for your informed decisions. Now we know, right? All of our Dollar Growth Club members, our community members, like, y'all know how we read the ingredients, how we read the labels, how we understand things, right? We're armed with that intelligence. So now it's like, make your informed decision based off upon, you know, you and your healthcare provider, like the information that you know about your body, and then move forward from there, you know, tap in here. Okay. And do your thing. All right. Any other thing that we got to talk about? I know we only got a few more minutes left.
No, I mean, there's some studies, but I can share that with the group. They're just studies about some of the other benefits of sea moss and its antimicrobial and antiviral properties.
I think you could just list them. Let's just rattle them off real quick, and then give, you know, just surface level rattle off real quick, and then all of the articles and everything you can post into our
just put the
community.
Articles in there.
Yeah, put the articles in there, but just because people want to know, I think, like, oh, you can't leave us with a cliffhanger, Dr. Ness. Like, what are some of the things, you know?
Says who? So let's see. I was like, says who? Oh my gosh, I'm like reading through these studies real fast. I will just say, right, so all of the nutrients, they have vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin K, which is important. I knew it was gonna be short-lived. Vitamin K, which is good for clotting. Vitamin E, which is an antioxidant, so it helps against the free radicals, right? And it also has the calcium in it. Oh my gosh, I have all of these numbers in. So phosphorus, magnesium, calcium, potassium, zinc, iron, manganese, which it's very, very small amount, but it's in there, and copper, right? And I wanted to say that there was something I wanted to tell you about that. I don't know where it went, but do not take more if you're taking the what do I call it, like the gel. No more than 2 tablespoons a day. No more.
No more. That is not ever.
That is nope, no more. And sometimes some people will say 1 to 2. Do not ever take more than 2, and that is because of the high amounts of iodine in there. Gotcha. And even if you're not already prone to a disorder of your thyroid, whether hyper or hypo, you know that 60% of the people that have a disorder within their thyroid don't even know it. 60%. That's more than half the people.
I believe it. I believe it.
Don't even know it. And so if you are one of those people that doesn't know, has a dysregulation, and you don't know, and then you go ahead and say, well, I'm just going to take this SEMA. Oh, it tastes so good. Let me take a little bit more. You're doing more harm.
You're doing a disservice to yourself.
Yes. And we as women are 5 to 8 times more likely to have disorders of the thyroid than our male counterparts. 5 to 8 times. I know the joys of being a woman.
Not fair.
The hormone. Yeah. I mean, it's the joys of being a woman, I guess.
The joys.
Yeah. It's just part of our journey. But it's, you know, good for arthritis. It's good for any like chronic inflammatory states, eczema too, actually, because eczema involves inflammation. But yeah, so it's good. It's good. It's from nature.
Sea moss.
Yes. But be careful, you know, just do your research when you're getting the sea moss, right? Where is it being sourced? How is it being produced? You know, what's the actual content of sea moss versus fillers, you know, especially if you're getting like the powder, because it's not always all sea moss.
Gotcha.
So yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for them little gems, the little drops of information. I know sea moss is a hot topic, so I know you'll be putting those things into the community so we can dive a little bit deeper into that. And for those of you who are watching who are not in our community yet, join dollargrowthclub.com. There's no www in front of it. I know that's weird, but it's HTTP.
Tell them again. No
www in front of it. Just dollargrowthclub.com. Don't set yourself up for success, right?
Absolutely. No, seriously, get amongst people that are building these habits. We're human too. Just like how I said I was a bad patient for the capsules.
Shaking my head. For the Cheerio tablets.
And it was just Cheerios. And I just was like, and so
I don't feel like taking these Cheerios today.
Not today. But, you know, for a person that has a condition that needs that type of medication. Yeah.
All right. We're going to hop off right now. Thank you again.
Absolutely. I'm going to put this in the group.
Okay, perfect. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. Have a happy